Grassy Farm. This is chapter 4 of The Merchant and the Alchemist's Gate, written by Ted Chiang. Continuing the story from where we left off, he knocked at the door, and a servant led him to a spacious and well-appointed hall with a fountain in the center. Hassan waited while the servant went to fetch his master. But as he looked at the polished ebony and marble around him, he felt that he did not belong in such surroundings, and was about to leave when his older self appeared. "At last you are here," the man said. "I've been expecting you." "You have?" said Hassan, astounded. "Of course, because I visited my older self just as you are visiting me. It has been so long that I had forgotten the exact day. Come, dine with me." The two went to a dining room where servants brought chicken stuffed with pistachio nuts, fritters soaked in honey, and roast lamb with spiced pomegranates. The older Hassan gave few details of his life. He mentioned business interests of many varieties, but did not say how he had become a merchant. He mentioned a wife, but said it was not time for the younger man to meet her. Instead, he asked Hassan to remind him of the pranks he had played as a child, and he laughed to hear stories that had faded from his own memory. At last, the younger Hassan asked the older, "How did you make such great changes in your fortune?" "All I will tell you right now is this. When you go to buy hemp from the market and you are walking along the street of black dogs, do not walk along the south side as you usually do. Walk along the north. And that will enable me to raise my station. Just do as I say. Go back home now. You have rope to make. You will know when to visit me again." Young Hassan returned to his day and did as he was instructed, keeping to the north side of the street even when there was no shade there. It was a few days later that he witnessed a maddened horse run amok on the south side of the street directly opposite him, kicking several people, injuring another by knocking a heavy jug of palm oil onto him, and even trampling one person under its hooves. After the commotion had subsided, Hassan prayed to Allah for the injured to be healed and the dead to be at peace, and thanked Allah for sparing him. The next day, Hassan stepped through the gate of years and sought out his older self. "Were you injured by the horse when you walked by?" he asked him. "No, because I heeded your warning. Do not forget, you and I are one. Every circumstance that befalls you once befell me." And so the elder Hassan gave the younger instructions, and the younger obeyed them. He refrained from buying eggs from his usual grocer, and thus avoided the illness that struck customers who bought eggs from a spoiled basket. He bought extra hemp, and thus had material to work when others suffered a shortage due to a delayed caravan. Following his older self's instructions spared Hassan many troubles, but he wondered why his older self would not tell him more. Who would he marry? How would he become wealthy? Then one day, after having sold all his rope in the market and carrying an unusually full purse, Hassan bumped into a boy while walking on the street. He felt for his purse, discovered it missing, and turned around with a shout to search the crowd for the pickpocket. Hearing Hassan's cry, the boy immediately began running through the crowd. Hassan saw that the boy's tunic was torn at the elbow, but then quickly lost sight of him. For a moment, Hassan was shocked that this could happen with no warning from his older self. But his surprise was soon replaced by anger, and he gave chase. He ran through the crowd, checking the elbows of boys' tunics, until by chance he found the pickpocket crouching beneath a fruit wagon. Hassan grabbed him and began shouting to all that he had caught a thief, asking them to find a guardsman. The boy, afraid of arrest, dropped Hassan's purse and began weeping. Hassan stared at the boy for a long moment, and then his anger faded, and he let him go. When he next saw his older self, Hassan asked him, "Why did you not warn me about the pickpocket?" And we will leave it there. My trailer's loaded. I gotta head down the road. We'll pick it up in the next episode. Thanks for listening.